I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Park Ridge Park District Board of Commissioners. Today is Thursday, December 16th, and it's 7 p.m. Would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Bendy?
Here.
Commissioner Bowe?
Here.
Commissioner Coyne?
Here.
Commissioner Hulting? Here. Commissioner LeDuc? Here. Commissioner Tunnell?
Here.
Commissioner Grau?
Here. Okay, would anyone like to amend, add, or delete an item to the current agenda? Okay, seeing none, I will ask if there's any public comment on non-agenda items. No. And nothing in the room, Marianne?
No.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll move on to approval of minutes. I move to approve the regular board meeting minutes of Thursday, November 18th, 2021, and Thursday, December 2nd of 2021.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any corrections, omissions? All right. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. We will move on to the president report. I have no report. And we'll move on to the attorney report. Is the attorney here yet?
I am. Let's see here. Make that work too. Good evening. The only report I have is that we not gotten the governor to sign a couple of things we're waiting on. So those haven't happened. That might result in some additional grant money and some other stuff. The other part we're looking at, we've been talking to Jason about whether or not we can find a way to get some access to some of the federal money that's in the most recent bill for infrastructure. It's got ambiguous language that works for like parks departments in major cities. But of course, Illinois having unique units like park districts, we're gonna have to stretch a little bit. So we're working on that. Otherwise, I'll save the rest of it for executive session at the end of the meeting.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Thank you for looking out for us. Right.
My pleasure.
We'll move on to executive director.
Thank you. I really only have, I just wanted to thank everybody, the staff, the commissioners, the attorney, everybody for a wonderful 2021. We're ending strong. Despite all of our challenges, again, with, COVID lingering, and, we have had great events this month that April will go through. We even had special thanks to Mrs. Claus, who may or may not be on this meeting right now, for all the extra time. There's a lot of end of the year tasks going on, very busy in finance that Sandra will talk about, and HR tying things up, evaluations, etc. So, just happy holidays to everybody. And, we have things throughout the meeting, of course, but unless you have questions on marketing or human resource, I have nothing else to report tonight.
Okay, thank you, Gail.
You're welcome.
We'll move over to finance then. Commissioner Tunnell.
Thank you. I'd like to yield the floor to Superintendent DeAngelis, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Tunnell. My written finance report begins on page 14 of the board packet. If anyone has any questions on the written report, I'd be happy to answer them now. Otherwise, I will review the financial performance details in the monthly report by funds.
I wanted to comment on a couple of things on your written report. One was, yay, that we didn't have to apprehend anyone on tape this month.
Yeah. Thank you. I just had my monthly meeting with the IT team, and Manager O'Leary expressed a similar sentiment, and she attributed the police presence at Main Park as contributing to, helping things hopefully be a little quieter. So we're
That's
pleased with how
awesome.
that's working out. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wondered, I saw the purchasing card program training. Does that mean we're now rolling that out?
We are. It's been a process. We've, made some meticulous procedures that we need to make sure everyone follows, that line up with the purchasing policy that the board, the updates the board approved earlier this year. And we want to get the system set up properly to make sure that everyone's uploading receipts, that supervisors are seeing these, that people are doing it on a weekly basis, and that we have a really good process of keeping track of everything. And then how we're going to be reporting those expenses to the board as well, which is going to be lagging our rollout slightly, but our intent is to have a report from the purchasing card system that shows all the expenses for the week that we will submit to the board treasurer in conjunction with the weekly AP check report. So it'll be similar, there'll be two reports, but it would be like all the expenses that were approved for this week. So that's where we are with that. We've trained the admin team and the managers. I don't think too many managers have had a chance to come pick up their new cards, and they have to turn in their old cards to get their new cards. And then other staff will be trained in the new year, and hopefully we'll get a lot more purchasing through that program, and then see the benefit of the rebate. And then the finance team, once we get all that in place and everything's working the way we want it to, and we're confident that all the controls are working, then we'll work toward expanding it to see what other vendors we could pay through the program to take advantage of the rebate that's offered through the card.
Wow, thank you. I didn't realize that was such a big deal.
Well, it's a good big project. So we're getting there.
One line on your thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's very thorough. I did have one other question on the next gen for, what was it, for registration?
Yes.
It says convert or an update. Are we converting to new software or are we updating software?
We're
I'm
updating. I can talk about it.
I would ask Margaret to jump in on that. Thank you.
I'm doing the project with Eileen. It's an upgrade to the current registration to clean up that online portion for customers. So Eileen and I are really kind of digging through all areas of it. We're not just doing a quick conversion. We're actually looking at what's listed, how to clean that up better, where to add some more notes to help people. So it's taking a little while, but I think it'll be helpful once it's done.
Oh, good, because I know it was really hard to implement it, and I thought, no, we're not changing again.
No, we're not changing software. It's just an update.
Good. Well, in general, it's great to see all the use of technology for streamlining processes. It's great. That's all I have, Commissioner.
Thank you. Did anyone else have questions on the finance report? If not, I'll cover the monthly report by funds. So the treasurer's report on page 15 continues to show that our cash and investment position at the end of November remains strong. And as we'll see in the graph further along in the report, this cash position is better than budget projections by approximately 1.5 million due to slower capital spending than budgeted and better than projected operations as we've gone through the reopening. I wanted to highlight on the portfolio reports in the following 3 pages. They continue to reflect the low interest rate environment. You can see on page 18, there's a green line that goes down in the month of November in the portfolio's yield to maturity. That reflects higher interest rate investments that matured in November, so they're no longer part of the portfolio. And the current lower rates for investments that were made this month. We did invest a core balance of about $2 million that is going to mature throughout the next 2 years, with the hope that as those maturity dates come along, we can take advantage of hopefully rising interest rates as those investments mature, and we'll also be keeping an eye on that. For other target dates like our next year's debt service, as we're going to start getting in the next first installment of 2022 property taxes beginning in February. So we'll be looking at that. Then the monthly report by funds for November, beginning on page 19. We go through all of the total funds. Again, shows that fund balance is higher than budget by about 1.7 million and higher than the prior year by 1.5 million. Again, attributable to slower capital spending than budgeted and better projected operations. And you can see the better projected operations reflected in the general fund on page 20, where our net surplus of 800,000 is higher than budget by about 870,000. Then on the recreation fund, this is reflected as well. Revenues were 78% of budget through November, but that compares, when we looked at October, we were 76% of budget. So each month we're continuing to improve on our recreation revenues. And expenses are also lower than budgeted, about 72% of budget. So the resulting fund surplus is almost 60% better than budgeted, and 1.7 million better than the prior year. So we expect that these surpluses in both general fund and recreation fund are on track to meet or exceed the 21 year-end estimate that was anticipated in the 2022 budget. So the numbers are looking really good right now. So we'll continue to look closely and report next month how the year end is shaping up. And if you look at the capital fund on page 22, you can see there that 1.8 million variance in expenses compared to the budget. As this is where you see that slower spending than budgeted. Revenues are also lower than budgeted due to the amount of the bond issue. We had anticipated doing the 2-year bond issue, but we did the 1 year. So that was a lower than budgeted, and the timing of grant receipts is also affecting those revenues. So those are kind of the highlights of the reports by funds. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Commissioner Grau?
I think I know the answer, but are we stuck with CDs? Is that's the only thing that we can do with these interest rates? It's just awful.
They're very low. You know, there are other options to consider. I mean, I think that you know, preservation of capital is our #1 goal, and you know, I can look at other options, but hopefully what we're hearing with the Fed news that came out, there should be some rate increases. I think they're talking about sooner rather than later next year, that, we just have to kind of wait that out and position ourselves to, as those rates start going up, be able to make those investments.
So these were shorter term then.
So the longest one is 2 years, but they're, if you look at the maturity dates, we have some maturing in February. So we can see if there, is there a move being made then? Would we want to reinvest that or wait a little longer? And then again in November, and then not till May of 23, to try to get a little more than I think the 10 basis points that are, you might get on a short-term investment. But as those roll off, hopefully rates will have increased and then we can reinvest at a higher rate. And it's small, it's 2 million, but it's not, our total balances are about 10 million. So we're not locking in too much for too long. But it is, it's challenging when rates are this low. I would agree.
A good point that it's only 2 million.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I would turn it back over to Commissioner Tunnell.
Thank you for the report. Thank you, President Grau, for the great questions. So we have some vouchers on the list, and I move to approve for payment vouchers in the total amount of $429,864.71.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, may we please have a vote?
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
We can't hear you, Rob.
Yes.
Commissioner Coyne?
Aye.
Commissioner Holting? Yes. Commissioner Leduc?
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnell?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Yes.
Thank you. And then moving on to, there's a memo in front of us on page 26, and I'll turn the mic back over to Superintendent DeAngelis.
Thank you, Treasurer Tunnell. So I prepared the memo that it gives you a brief explanation for the next agenda items. The first is the annual review of the tax levy loss and cost. The district's administrative policy manual includes a policy on the loss and cost resolution, which is filed with the county. The policy requires the board adopt a resolution to account for anticipated losses due to unpaid property taxes annually. The resolution directs the county to add to each levy a percentage equal to the 4-year rolling average percentage of uncollected property taxes calculated from the property tax levies collections table of the district's most recent comprehensive annual financial report. This is a policy that the board came up with a few years ago to make sure that we are not levying for more taxes than we need. A chart and a table showing the calculation are included in the board packet. No change is recommended from the prior year. So this is the same as it's been for the last several years. We're instructing the county to add an additional 2% to all of the property tax levies to account for refunds and unpaid taxes. And because we've been collecting approximately 98% of what we levy, so that it evens out. Because no change is recommended, we don't need to file a new resolution. So we don't have a resolution on the agenda. But because the policy requires the board adopt this resolution annually, we have it as an agenda item for discussion, so that I can explain the recommendation and you all can let me know if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts. I can tell that I've lulled you all to sleep with the exciting explanation of property tax collections.
Well, I think it's more that you just gave us such a clear explanation that it cleared up questions.
That is most awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Commissioner Halting. Well, with that, I guess I would go on to the rest of the memo. The next agenda item is adoption of the tax levy ordinance. This is the document that tells the county how much tax to levy. So previously, the board approved the truth in taxation resolution, which is how we comply with the Truth in Taxation Act, which requires the board to determine the amount of levy no less than 20 days prior to adopting the tax levy ordinance. So this is the tax levy ordinance part of that process, and it is required to be filed by the last Tuesday in December. Thank you, Commissioner Bendy, for pointing out I had a typo in my memo. It says December 28th, 2020. I'm living in the past. December 28th is a Tuesday, but it should be 2021. So does anybody have any questions about the tax levy ordinance? Okay, I think there'll be a motion in a little bit. And then the last one always sounds a little confusing. It's called the possible reduction of 2021 tax levy resolution. So the purpose of this is to make sure that the county has direction for the district to comply with the tax cap limits. So we do an estimate for new property. So that if we estimate too high in our levy and we're not able to levy that much, this directs the county where to make the reduction so that we do comply with the tax caps. And because we get a lot of other revenue in the recreation fund, we direct the county to reduce the recreation fund tax levy. Any questions on that resolution? Okay, thank you. Let me know. I guess we'd move it back to Commissioner Tunnell for the motions.
Thank you. I move to adopt ordinance number 21-7, an ordinance for the levy and assessment of taxes of the Park Ridge Park District for the levy year beginning January 1, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I call for a vote, please.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyne?
Nay.
Commissioner Halting? Yes. Commissioner Leduc? Yes. Commissioner Tunnell?
No.
Commissioner Bendy?
Yes.
Commissioner Grau?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along to 21-2. I move to adopt resolution number 21-2, A resolution providing for the possible reduction of levy and assessment of taxes for the Park Ridge Park District, Cook County, Illinois, for the levy year beginning January 1, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? May I please have a vote?
Commissioner Coyne,
Aye.
Commissioner Hulting,
Yes.
Commissioner Leduc,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel,
Yes.
Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Grau.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the information to the finance team. We're always happy to hear the reports that you're reporting. So thank you for all the good news tonight. So, and I'd like to yield the floor to Commissioner Bendy.
You have one more, John.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you? Oh, sorry. I
Oops.
lost count. Oh.
Someone's not paying attention.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Tunnel. All right, let's hear about recreation. Superintendent Armour, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Commissioner Bendy. Lots of fun things going on as usual. The report starts on page 36. We had our gingerbread workshop, and our preschool program had the parent-teacher conferences in November. Lots of fun things happening with the youth as well. Our events at the pool, the indoor pool, where those have been well received. We're still making some progress on Beyond the Bell for accommodating participants. I know I pointed out last month, but we got even more participation in our youth basketball program. I mean, that's just really booming. So that's, a lot of coordination and a lot of kids, but it's going very well from what I'm told. The Activity Center brought back the Holiday Bazaar. It was very well attended, so it was nice to have that event back. And the STAR program has had many festive outings and activities as well. Our fitness centers saw over 100 new memberships, which was fantastic last month. That's partially due to the changes with the youth drop-in program and requiring, parent signatures, and a lot of people have signed up for memberships because of that. And on page 44, we have some events that have either already taken place and are upcoming in the next few weeks. But lots of other things going on. I'd be happy to answer any specific questions if you have any.
I just have a
question
general.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, mine's just a quick comment. I was just really happy to, it's been happening all along, but I feel like it really hit me this month, this general rebound in so many categories back to pre-COVID levels, especially like the activity center. I was so happy to see those numbers bounce up there, and at the nature center and all. So it's a testament to people being ready for it, and also you all helping to get the word out about the programming. So
yes, thank you. We're definitely still building up membership at the activity center as well, but even today at the holiday, they had their holiday party today at the country club, and there were over 100 people who participated, and everyone was just so happy to be there and so grateful and so complimentary of all the programs. And there's so many people that specifically came up to me and said thank you for everything that you did throughout the pandemic when we were at home, and the phone calls, and so complimentary of the staff. So it's so nice to be able to attend things like that and see everyone so happy.
I had a question on why is Roosevelt's has such a big number on the waiting list for Beyond the Bell. Just wondering about that.
Yeah, that site specifically, we usually have multiple spaces that we're able to use. And just because of their classrooms and spreading out for different things, they only have one space available for us at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Well, I'm glad the numbers are down. Hey, off the top of your head, do you know when the ice show is? Is it April or not? Or
Yeah, it's in April.
is it April?
I know the date is chosen, but I can't remember off the
Okay,
top.
I was just wondering. I know Easter's
could-
late. I just
Yeah,
was
I
wondering.
could get back to you on that so you can put
I
on
can
your.
look it up. It's fine. All right. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for April or good comments? Glad to hear the stars are doing well. So good for them. Good turnout on the country club. That's always a fun event. All right. Anyone else?
Joan, I think we just lost you.
We lost you, Joan.
Oh,
The-
okay.
the
Sorry.
sound. There you go.
Okay. All right. Are we okay with recreation? Or are we any other questions? Or should we turn it over to Superintendent Halting for buildings and grounds then? Is that all right?
Thank you for my new job, Joan. I'm pretty pumped. I don't know about turf or the equipment, but I'll give it my best shot. Just kidding. I'm going to turn it over to Terry, who really knows what he's doing, to talk about buildings and grounds.
Thank you. Well, my report does begin on page 45. I did include some information about the outdoor ice rinks. I think it's one of those items that's such a tradition in Park Ridge, and everyone gets very excited about it when they see the rinks going up. But just a reminder that we are 100% dependent on the weather. These are not designed and constructed like what they have out at Rosemont. It doesn't have refrigeration systems under it. So there's some limitations to when we can have the ice. We're always trying to and very conscious of trying to get the ice ready for, especially for winter break, so that people with new skates under the tree might be able to go out and use them. Unfortunately, right now, as much as we will try, by looking at the weather, I don't see that as a reality. So we'll have to just continue to keep an eye on, and I want to let you all know that my staff and I look at this and talk about it literally every day at this time of year. So, but I would be happy to answer any questions anybody has about this or anything else in the report.
Barry, I love that you guys are so attentive about the outdoor ice skating. I know we've participated in that, and it's really something that we look for updates on so that we can take our kids over there. So thanks for your attention to that. Knowing that there may not be ice skating, the Skate with Santa is on Sunday, I think. According to the previous report, is that at 2 o'clock by chance?
I'll turn that question over to Superintendent Farmer.
Any idea?
I can look at the brochure really quick and get back to
I'll
you.
look.
I got it.
Yeah. You got it?
1 to 2, 1 o'clock to 2
1 to 2.
o'clock.
All right.
And
Thanks for your.
the
the
ice
ice
show
skate-
is the weekend of Friday, April 29th. I just looked that one up.
All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Tunnel?
Thanks for this report. It's sad to see another incident of vandalism on the report. It seems like every meeting we see. I was just curious, what is the specialty swing that was blown up? Like, what type of swing was that?
So that particular swing over at Northeast Park was kind of a saucer that has room for 2 different users at the same time. So that's why it's a little more expensive on the swing. So.
Sorry,
Sorry to hear
northeast? It says northwest, so it's northeast. Yeah.
Northeast, correct. You know what? You're right. My bad.
That's okay.
Apologize for the typo.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, we don't have that kind of swing at northwest, but yeah, so I just want to clarify that.
Good catch,
I
Kim.
love that swing. I go on it every time I'm at the park. I know exactly the one.
We have a new one on order, so as soon as we get it, we'll put it back up.
Any other questions for Terry? Terry, I was pumped to see the burn at Main Park. I was noticing it was getting pretty weedy into the fall, so lots of the thistle in there. So that's great.
Yep, and I will
Oh.
give Margaret thanks and photo credit for those photos that I used in this shoes.
Yeah, those are nice photos.
I did have to
People
go out
would,
and take those pictures for me.
yeah, the one of the person moving like that's some pretty, send that to the park associations. They would
Yeah, I
totally
thought
use
that's
that in a
award winning. Yeah.
It is. It's very dramatic. I'm into it. Good job, Margaret.
Except for we've got, I think the deadline's passed for this year, so that'll be a next year.
No,
Next
it's a
year's
great
submittal.
one. It's really good. All right. Matt.
Just
Yep.
real quick, if the Oakton referendum passes, I think the building and ground should be the name of the coffee shop we put inside it.
Love it.
Second.
Jerry and his staff have to serve coffee. Is that what you're saying?
All right. No, I like random. All right. I think we are done, and I can turn it over to Commissioner LeDuc.
And I have nothing to report on policy this month, so I will hand it off to Commissioner Coyne for intergovernmental.
Ditto. I have no report from intergovernmental, so I will turn it back to President Grau, I believe.
Okay, that was quick. Any communications and correspondence? Nothing? Okay, new business. All right, since we don't have anything before we adjourn, I just want to say it's been a good year. We have good teams, both on the staff side and on the board side. It's been a pleasure working with you all through this year, and hopefully it's all just getting better. Like Melissa said, the trajectory hopefully will even get better next year. So it's been a pleasure. Oh my gosh. Am I still on? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can see you and hear you, Cindy.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know what happened. Okay, well, I'm going to make a motion. I move to adjourn to closed session for the purpose to discuss land acquisition per 2C5. We will reconvene to the regular board meeting to adjourn the meeting. Can I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Stay here.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please, Mary Ann?
Sure. Commissioner Bendy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Coyne,
Aye.
Commissioner Hulting,
Yes.
Commissioner LeDuc,
Yes.
Commissioner Tunnel,
Yes.
Commissioner Grau.
Yes. Okay, we have to close out of this meeting and then go to the invite you got from Terry. All right?
Everybody good with that?
All right, we'll see you there. Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you.
Can anyone see if everyone's here? Looks like we lost Commissioner Tunnel. Oh, there he is.
Is there?
Let's see, who else?
Did Commissioner Halting leave?
No, she's here.
She's here.
I don't see her. Okay,
I don't see Joan. That's the only one.
okay.
Yeah, it's Joan.
We'll give her a minute. I'm sure she wouldn't mind if we adjourned without her, but
Right. Give her a minute to get back on.
okay.
You want to just go ahead, Cindy, or you want to text her? You want me to text her? Or?
Yeah. Oh, there. Okay, there's Melissa. Fine. We don't have to call the roll again, do we? No, right?
Marianne?
I don't see my boss. I'm pretty sure we're fine. Okay, I move to adjourn the meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I missed a few people, but I don't hear anyone opposed, so. All right, well, happy holidays, everyone.
Yes,
care.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yep.
We can talk completely freely.
Not yet.
Yeah, my mic is on.